Alright, it's Aaron at Smokenmist, and I'm here to show you the new Grand Innovations GI2 Clone by Psmoke. It's a great little mod, and amazingly it is 100 watts maximum output. So it's one of the first mods where you can use your rebuildable atomizers all the way down to 0.1 ohms, which is very impressive. So right from the start, it's got a nice leather zip-up case and a handy carabiner for those who like to rock climb while vaping. Open it up, and the GI2 is a pretty compact little mod, especially for its features. It's barely much bigger than two 18650 batteries. It's got a great TFT screen and everything you need. So the first thing is batteries. A lot of people ask me what type of batteries can they use. I'm really just going to recommend two batteries to you. The first is the Sony 18650. They're 30 amp, 2600 milliamp hours. The second is the eFest 35 amp, 2600 mAh batteries. So let's go ahead and open the back window. There's no set screw or anything to keep it in place, but I've noticed once you've got the batteries in place, I haven't had any issues with the door coming out, coming loose, falling out. So it hasn't been too much of a problem, but I have talked to Psmoke, about getting some type of locking mechanism to keep that door in place, just because over time maybe it will be an issue. So we'll go right to the rebuildable atomizers. I've got a Magma from H-Cigar 0.1 ohm coil inside. As you can see, once you insert the batteries, you've got the standby screen. Make sure it's nice and snug. Using your fire button, you're going to press the fire button and your splash screen shows up. The splash screen can be changed via an SD card, which is located inside the battery compartment. And apparently you can use wallpaper of your own choice, upload it. I haven't done any of those things yet, but some nice little options for those who want to trick out an already pretty trick mod. So it starts out in variable watts and all the way down to its lowest setting at 1 volt. You can easily switch to variable watts, which is where I like to run, by pressing the menu button and the left selection button. It does a great job of quickly getting to the watts or volts that you want. It takes 2-3 seconds to get from 0 to 100 in increments of 1 watt. So we've got a lot of nice options there. Let's go ahead and see how she vapes. Pretty nice. It has a real solid hit, and it does ramp up, kind of like the Inokin products, how they check the atomizer ohms and then ramp up to their full power. It takes about 1 second during that ramp process, and so you will notice a little bit of delay on the full power after you press the button. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features, some of the nice things about this mod, and we'll get a little closer into how this baby can function for you. So the GI2 Clone by Psmoke has an aluminum body, a TFT color display, it's variable volts, variable watts, it has a built-in ohm meter, it has a battery meter, it has from 1 to 100 watt capacity. It also handles 0.1 ohms all the way to 3 ohms. The voltage is from 1 volt to 5.5 volts. It accommodates two 18650 batteries. We suggest VTC5 from Sony, 4 for a little bit less life, or the EFEST 30 or 35 amp flat top batteries. It has a 15 amp output max. It has temperature control. This keeps it from overheating. The measurements are 99 millimeters by 53 millimeters by 28 millimeters. It includes an SD card. It has a flush 510 connection, and it has accommodated smoothly all the atomizers that I have tried on it. Now, the GI2 Clone that we have from Psmoke features stainless steel buttons instead of the plastic buttons that were on the original. I think it's a great upgrade, and I've already noticed a much improved functionality and feel with the stainless steel buttons. Another great feature of this mod is being able to switch from variable volts to variable watts, and that's accomplished by simply pressing the menu button and the left selection button. You can quickly increase or decrease your volts, and you can see the speed which that adjusts, which is very nice. Do note that as your battery decreases, I've been using this for just over a day, and you can see my battery volts are below 7.4. Once that happens, you will be limited to 80 watts, and then as you slip below, I think 6.4 volts, you'll be limited to 40 watts. So you do want to make sure you keep fresh batteries, but so far the life has been excellent. I usually kill a set of batteries within 6 or 8 hours, and these have lasted about 14 hours at 0.1 ohms, which is very impressive. So one of the main reasons, in my opinion, to get one of these computer-controlled high-watt box mods is the ability to use virtually any atomizer at any ohm range. So right now, I've got my Magma sitting at 0.1 ohms, running at 100 watts in variable volt mode. Let's see how it vapes again. Alright, without making any changes to the settings, I can remove the Magma, throw on a standard Nautilus tank running the old coils at 1.8 ohms. The moment I press the fire button, it automatically reduces the watts to its maximum capacity for the 1.8 ohms, which is 5.5 volts and 17 watts. It's pretty impressive. You literally can set it at the max, throw on another atomizer, and vape within seconds. That may 17 watts may be a little high for you, so you can obviously adjust it down. With just to press the button, it brings it all the way down to where the max is. You can quickly adjust it down to 10, 12, whatever watts you're comfortable with. And I just think for people that don't want to get into Ohm's law, calculating everything, simply press a button up and down, go from the lowest ohm rating of 0.1 all the way up to a 3.0 ohm atomizer. It just gives you a lot of options. So I can see why a lot of people would be interested in this. It takes a lot of the guesswork out. It keeps you within safe levels. You may get a hot vape, but you're not going to blow your atomizer. It's going to keep everything under control. And I see why the 5.5 volt max is a good idea. I'm sure in future versions they will increase the voltage to 7.4, but I think for newbies especially, or intermediate users, it's a great feature. It just kind of keeps everything nice and easy to use. I do want to go through some of the negatives that I found using this. They're pretty quickly apparent. One is after about 30 seconds, it goes into sleep mode. Once it enters sleep mode, it takes a button press of the fire button to wake. So if it goes into sleep mode, which typically you'll vape for a little while, you set your mod down, go about your business, go ahead, try to vape again, nothing's going to happen. You have to press the button, let it wake, takes about 1 to 2 seconds to wake up, and then you're ready to vape. Second thing is, as I mentioned earlier, the ramp up period, the 1 second ramp up period is a little annoying, and I know a lot of people love an instant fire that comes with like a mechanical mod, so that is an issue. I assume that in the future they're going to work that out, but for right now it's kind of an annoyance. It has a controllable fire time, and it's from 1 to 10 seconds. And using the menu button, I won't go through all the menu options. You can hold the menu button, you can then scroll through all your different menu options. You can set your standard watts, your standard volts, and your vape times. It also, when you switch to the variable, you see it just went into sleep mode. When you switch to variable watts, it doesn't stay there after you've entered sleep mode. So as it's entered sleep mode, pretty convenient. Once you press the fire button to get back to the active mode, you're back into variable volts. So it would be nice if it stayed in variable watts, but it isn't really that big a deal to just press the menu and the left selector and get back into watts mode. So little nitpicky things. I think for all of the positives, pretty small in the negative category. The one last thing would be the ability to have a pass-through charging system. It doesn't have a pass-through. You have to remove the batteries every time you want to charge it. So if people like the pass-through feature, this doesn't have it. Some of the positives, I mean, holy cow, 100 watts. So you're going to be able to use almost any atomizer, any coil build, anything that you can think of. This guy will handle it. And I think that's a huge positive. From switching to a mechanical mod, to a variable volt mod, to getting the battery life. I mean, it has everything you need in one compact package. It's very sleek, very durable. The finish doesn't scratch or mar. From when I've been using it, haven't had any issues. All the fingerprints that I've left on it from juice and other things quickly wipe off. It's got a great finish, and we'll see how it holds up over the months, but I can already tell it's a very good, very nice finish. The other thing in here is it gives you a lot of data. You've got a lot of real-time information. I mentioned the ohms checker. You've got your constant ohm reading during the vaping. It tells you exactly what ohms your atomizer is set at. It gives you your watts, your volts, and your exact battery voltage, as well as a nice battery meter that you can check just by a glance. And it just has a great feel, a nice big screen. You won't be trying to get in and see the small text. Very nicely done. I think running a 0.3 ohm atomizer on this is just about perfect, as you can bump the volts from 1 all the way up to 4.4 before it clips. So you're actually going to get more power out of this mod than you would out of a mechanical mod using a 0.3 ohm setup. So it gives you even more flexibility. With the 0.1 ohm, it gives you the most power at 100 watts, but it does clip at about 3.2 volts. So you're not even getting all the way back up to 3.7 static volts that you would have with a mechanical mod. But I will say, just in the experience compared to my mechanical mods, it does hit very, very hard. And so I think moving up to a 0.2, 0.3 gives you a lot more flexibility, and you're still going to get an amazingly powerful hit. Last thing, battery life. You know, going through an 18650 with a 0.1 ohm atomizer in about 3 hours at optimum power to having over a full day of battery life at the same atomizer is a big advantage. So I think there's a lot of reasons why you would want to choose this box mod. The GI2, well made. Psmoke did a great job, and we're going to bring them to you and keep great service on them. We offer a 6-month warranty, so they're completely covered for any issues you may have. Thank you.